Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back here with our YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing part number 18 of my ongoing reviewing the MCU series. And today we're doing Avengers Infinity War. So, Avengers Infinity War released in 2018. And yeah, it's been about, what is it, approaching 4 years? So, yeah. I can't believe it's been like 3 and almost 4 years essentially since this movie came out. Like I remember this just like yesterday watching this movie in theaters and just being so happy. I remember it. Infinity War is just definitely hands down. It's a really interesting movie. So the way I like to do this is I like to go initial reaction followed by the good, followed by the bad, or other way around. Sorry, bad then good, and then final thoughts and score. So yeah, my initial reaction again. Like I remember originally watching this, and still to this day when I did my recent rewatch, which was like just now. Like it's still there. It still holds up. I really enjoy it, and yeah, it's just an interesting climactic event. So yeah, with the bad, let's get into the bad. So yeah, this movie is near flawless in my opinion. I mean, there's not too many things wrong with it, in my opinion. It does what it's supposed to do. So I mean, yeah. In terms of bad, I'm gonna be real with you guys. The writing could be choppy at times when it came down to details and stuff. It's a little choppy, but it did have some good details. I'm not gonna like it had some good details, but I mean a lot of writing was choppy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like it was a little choppy. But when it came down to things such as Thanos, as well as some of the details, for example, like Spider-Man's death at the end of the movie when he's getting dusted, like those details are really good, and the writing for those moments are pretty good. Uh, so yeah. So number one, quickly. Sorry, I don't know why I just for number one, but sorry. Next thing I want to say, I meant my number one fully well developed point is there's just as much as this is a good thing, there's just way too many characters. I mean, I think it's what like 64 different superhero characters or something like that. Like there's like six or not 64, like over 60. I th- I think the number was something like 64 or something, but it's like over 60 different superheroes you're seeing in this movie. And mind you as well, like not all the heroes appear in this. Like we don't see Hawkeye, we don't see Ant-Man, and we don't see like the newer heroes. So this is like a huge climactic event, and don't get me wrong, I love seeing all these characters together like this. But what I'm trying to say here is just the lack in terms of other characters. Now, really, you see characters like, for example, Iron Man in this movie. Not even Captain America, because we don't really see too much of him in this movie. We just see him fight and then be like, "Who's this Thanos?" And then he just tries to fight Thanos. That's literally what we see of him. So a lot of it's like showing casing a lot more of Iron Man, which I'm not complaining again. That's good. And also remember, this is like kind of like a part one, so it's not too bad when it comes down to that stuff. But again, with detail wise, like you miss a lot of details. For example, don't forget the fact that we've had a bunch of character deaths in this movie. Like we saw Heimdall, who was a big character, just die like that, and they never really mentioned him again. Especially seeing as though that was supposedly Thor's best friend. And then Loki dying like that, they never bring it up at all. So that's like, hmm. And then once Gamora dies, really Star Lord's the one who brings it up. He's literally like, no Gamora for like 2 seconds, and then he just forgets about it, kind of thing. But I mean, he doesn't really forget about it. But obviously, I'm not gonna expect him to be like all weepy about it all the time. But I mean, still, I found it a little odd. He ended up saying, "Did we just lose?" Instead of like, honestly, I would have expected him to say something like, "That bastard killed Gamora" or something like that. So yeah, then like Nebula doesn't really say much about it either. So it's just like yeah, like they're paying attention, they're detail, paying attention to details. Are It's a very hard to really kind of say, really, and also same with Bucky. That's another thing. They don't even mention anything from Civil War. Like they completely ignore that fact. Like I find it very weird. For example, especially with Rhodey, that Rhodey was literally like didn't even care that Bucky was there. Like, wouldn't you expect to be like, not even like for a joke or anything, but like, I guess it is the end of the world, I guess, or supposedly. But I mean, still, I kind of found it a bit weird when that happened and everything with that. So like, there wasn't very good explanation into that whole thing. Um, So yeah, that was it. And then another thing I kind of disliked was the fact that they kind of switched settings so much. And I mean, the Titan battle and the Wakanda battle, that's perfectly fine. I'm actually down. That's okay. But I kind of disliked how the fact that they keep switching Thor scenes. I didn't really like that. I'm gonna be fully well honest, you guys. I kind of felt the Thor getting Stormbreaker scene was definitely interesting, but I mean, it kind of bored me at certain times, just because like it kept just flipping. I didn't like that. I didn't like how we would seeing Wakanda scene, and then we would see Thor getting Stormbreaker scene, then we get a Titan scene, and then we get a Wakanda scene again and again, and I dislike that. I don't mind flip flopping between two different things. That's fine, but I would have liked like the Thor scene to just be a consecutive. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My apologies. It just to be essentially consecutive. Like I would have liked for just Thor scene to just be consecutive. That's what I would have liked. But I mean, that is what it is. It's not too bad. So yeah. Now for the good, there's a bunch of different goods. Again, I really liked how just this was like. I think this is just the first movie in history of this caliber to assemble this many films. Like this is what is 17 films in the making. Like this is very large. Uh, yeah, and I really liked how they just tied everything in together. It's just a great ensemble of films. That's what I really liked. And then the next thing I liked. I mean, this is pretty basic, but I mean, I liked the costumes. I liked all the costumes. I liked the Iron Spider suit, Mark 50 suit. That looked really cool. Uh, Thor suit looked pretty cool. And obviously certain characters were wearing suits from previous movies. If you were to say my opinion on the Captain America suit, I like the black design they were going for. It looked cool, but I mean, I don't know about those shields on his hands. Like, just kind of was like, what the heck is that? And I mean, I don't know if I really like the beard and the long hair like that. I don't know. I just like the way Captain America was before. But I mean, obviously, you gotta take into account what's happened and stuff. So that's completely fine. Bucky's new arm is sick, so yeah, yeah. I really like the action. Action was really good. I like the fight scenes. I specifically like the Titan battle. I really like that. I like the Wakanda battle too. But I mean, that Titan battle was awesome. I never been so like, whoa, what's going on? I remember specifically originally when I watched it, I was on edge the whole time, thinking, oh damn, is this like how Iron Man dies, and or is this how a certain character dies? And still to this day, I know what happens still, but I mean, it's really rewatchable. It's really fun to watch. I really enjoy it. And that's another thing, like rewatchability, really good, and my enjoyability is really good about on this movie. Um, yeah, so that was really interesting. The next thing is CGI. I really like their use of CGI. For example, a lot of this movie, especially these battles, are all completely CGI, except for the characters. Like obviously, like the actors and stuff is not CGI, but like most of these movies are CGI. But still, like it's fully well believable. It's still fully well like it's real and stuff. That's what I really liked as well. Is I liked the CGI for Thanos. Uh, Great CGI on him. It was really good. It really looked good. So yeah. And then of course like Mark 50, that CGI as well, but still it looked really good. And then you have the Iron Spider suit, which is as well CGI, and it still looked very good. So yeah. The next thing I liked uh is just the villain. I like Thanos as a villain. I would say best villain up to date, or maybe one or two easily, like top one or two. Uh, he's just a really good villain. I really liked him as a villain. I thought his motives were not justifiable. Like I'm not justifying genocide or anything, but I mean still like you understood what he was trying to do. You understood his reasoning. You understood everything about him, and not to mention he just looked cool with the Infinity Gauntlet. I liked seeing the fact that he was putting up a legitimate threat to all of these heroes, because up to this moment, yeah, still like you had characters like Loki, Ronan, all these different characters in there fighting on teams and stuff. And don't get me wrong, they did put up their qualifying threat, but I mean, he was just being a complete threat. And you didn't know who was gonna get beat up, who was gonna die. I really liked how they set that tone, especially at the start. Don't obviously I know like Hulk is a strong hero, but still, that kind of set the tone of the movie because you're like, whoa, you just beat up Hulk and he's like one of the strongest. Same with Thor, you beat up Thor too. So I'm like, a lot of people, myself included, was like, yeah, this guy's a real bad guy. So that was interesting with that, and as well as I like the ongoing themes of the movie, and essentially, that's actually one thing I liked compared to the comic was I liked his motive, which was he's trying to better people and stuff, rather than I'm doing this for Lady Death. I liked how he was kind of trying to do this. Essentially, he thought in his own mind that he was really helping people and stuff, but obviously that's not good. So yeah, I'm not justifying anything he did, but still, yeah, that's pretty much it for the good. In terms of my final thoughts, again, I think this was a really good movie, easy top tier of the MCU, probably top five in the MCU. Personally, one of my favorite movies in the MCU. In terms of my rating, I would give it a 9 out of 10. 9, yeah, I would say 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. It's a really solid movie. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.